Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck This Place!
First thing in the morning on a Saturday, 2 o'clock.
We got a nice little here I am. I'm Handren. I'm learned. I've got books. I've got plants.
They're picture books, but yeah,
no.
it's all
That makes sense.
just pictures of Bob Dylan, drawings by Ralph Steadman, and then pictures of David Bowie.
Okay, so they're literally picture books. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, there's some shit written in them, but
I'm sure.
I just look at the pictures.
We're talking 80% pictures. Okay.
Yeah, especially this one is, I don't know if this has any writing in it, but this is the dude that did all the, I guess it does have a little bit, all the art for Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah, Ralph. Yes,
Oh,
Ralph
cool.
Steadman.
Yeah, Ralph Steadman.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got some fucking cool pieces on his own.
It would
like
make
that's
sense that
one
there's
of my
not a lot of
favorites.
writing in that book.
The way you're pitching it, I thought it'd been good if you're like, there's barely any writing in this book. Oh, it's a photo album. Sorry. Yeah, it's a photo album.
It's my family.
Yeah.
I miss them so much.
No, oddly, I don't have any. We have a couple photos of family stuff around here, but I don't have any photo album.
No, me
My
neither.
parents do.
Yeah, because we're not 100 years old.
Yeah. I have one, but
Oh, yeah?
I am,
Okay, yeah,
I
of
am
course.
100 years old.
Yeah, no, I've never printed. I'm not saying I've never printed a photo. I've for sure printed photos, but I don't print them and collect them. Anyway, we should intro the pod. Welcome to Fuck This Place, the podcast about jobs with Chase and Nick. My name is Chase.
My name is Nick, and with us today, fantastic comic. You can check out his album HS1. Great dude. Also part of the Chase McNeil, Kyle Kinane, LA biking comic.
The
community.
only comics that I know of that bike in LA.
Mr. Handren Seavey.
Thank you.
Yeah, how you
Yes,
doing,
there
brother?
is also Nick Youssef. When he's in LA, is a big bicyclist as well.
Oh, cool.
It's a limited run.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I'm
Andrew.
doing very well. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited to talk about and trash former people of
Employers.
Yeah, dude. Fuck
Yeah.
those guys.
Well, you came to the right place. Handren, before we trash former employers of yours, let's trash some potential employers.
Okay.
Our first segment on every podcast that we do is actually a segment we call "Fuck This Place?" where we decide if we would work somewhere or not. So you are from Maine. I had the
Correct.
town written down, and I lost it already.
Harrison,
Maine.
Yeah.
We have looked up some Craigslist posts, not from Harrison, Maine. I'm sure you are very familiar. Those who are not familiar with Maine Craigslist, there is one Craigslist, and it is called Maine.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
the
there's
whole
no
goddamn
separate
state.
sections or anything. It's just all
So,
one, yeah.
so they're all Maine Craigslist posts. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at. I have 3 posts. I'm gonna read you the title to 3. You'll pick the one you don't want to look at, and then we'll look at the other 2. That makes
Okay,
sense.
there's a chance I know these people personally.
100%.
Which is
yeah.
good.
Hell yeah. Uh-huh.
With
Yeah,
how
they-
small Maine is, yeah.
That's very possible, and perhaps we'll learn something. So okay, so here's the 3 titles. Title number 1 is newspaper bagger.
Okay.
Title number 2, Snow White needs.
Mm.
And then title number 3 is local muscle is hiring drivers and movers. So which one do you not want to click on? Newspaper?
I don't
Snow
care
White,
about the
or-
newspapers.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to know so much more
Outta here.
about, especially Snow White.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at Snow White first then. We'll
right.
do a quick screen share here. So let's take a look at post number 1, which is Snow White needs. And there's no photos or anything. It's just a few lines of text. And the ad begins and it says, Snow White has relocated. Has she? And apparently needs her 7 dwarfs to come and help insulate the tiny house, and tiny trailer. I assume it's Snow White's, but who knows? She also hopes maybe her prince will be one of them to come. And then there's only 2 more lines, and it says, you tell her your ideas. She will tell you hers. You tell her your price. She will tell you hers. And then
Yeah,
compensation.
this is a prostitution ad.
Do you think so?
I think so. Yeah, it's like, but this was under jobs.
Correct.
Gigs, yeah.
Labor gigs.
Mhm.
Oh, the conversation finishes with all materials and labor paid by Snow White. What's your price? Yeah, I agree. There's something fishy going on here. But
Yeah.
what I
Or
do
it's
not
drugs. Could be drugs.
could be drugs. But
Mhm.
why specifically are we talking about a tiny house and a tiny trailer?
That means she does anal.
You think so?
Yeah, the trailer part.
Oh,
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
tiny
yeah.
trailer.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. Like caboose, maybe.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
that same vein as that. Got it.
Right. And this, I
Where
mean,
you're
this
coming
for
in the
sure-
front door, you're coming in the
Uh-huh.
house, but also we got something on the back, a trailer, if you will. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, for sure, like there's an underlying, underpinning of this sort of thing on Craigslist. We're talking
Can you
with a former
zoom
guest.
back on the map so we can
Yeah,
see
oh,
where in
yeah.
Maine it is?
Oh, definitely. It's
Oh, it's right up by Rumford. Okay, that's
it's
not
up by
far
Rumford,
from-
as we all know.
That's
Classic
not far
Rumford.
from where I grew up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So-
There's a
you're
good
from right around
chance.
here.
You might know Snow
Down
White.
a little bit. Oh yeah, there's a very good chance she went to Oxford Hills High School.
Yeah. So for those who,
Yeah.
for those who are not watching on YouTube, this is the bottom left. You could call that southwest
Western
corner of
Maine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Western Maine. To me, the coastal part, like Portland or whatever, that's the part that people have like heard of,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
this part up here where it's just like the
county.
the tumor.
They call that Aroostook County.
Aroostook
It's
County.
pretty much all one county up there.
Mhm,
There's almost no people. There's barely any towns. It's just a lot of like U.S. territory 337. Like
Yeah.
you see it
That's
blocked
the
off
freaky
in grids.
deaky part. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Although
there's-
Snow White's pretty freaky deaky as well, it seems.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, it gets right around just before you get to the county, just north of there is where people get real weird. Yeah, right around there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the weird area there.
Yo, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just not a lot of human contact. Left alone with your thoughts a lot, and it's just. I love them. I love those people, but they are a strange bunch. They'll never hear this, so it's fine.
No, definitely not. They're listening to AM radio.
I'll say they have like ham radios they're listening to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and someone else is
just a lot
playing,
of watching the clouds.
Yeah. Oh, what do you think's up there?
like there's books for that. I was just hoping that somebody would just someone would play like on a ham radio. They would just play podcasts on their phone and just like hold it up to the mic, because I feel like that'd be a pretty cool service,
I've been doing on my podcast every once in a while. I do a late night listening party, and I just DJ like an old school DJ and play 6 of my favorite songs, which might be illegal too. I don't know
for sure. Yeah, I think it is,
but I don't make money at it, so I'm like, what are you gonna do? I'll take it down if I gotta take
exactly.
it down.
If someone comes after you, you're like, well then fine. You want me to cease and desist? I will cease and desist.
Yeah,
no big deal. I think you're right. There is there's definitely a sexual underpinning here. The 7 Dwarfs is also
so that's what made me go drugs, maybe, because maybe that's a drug reference, and where this is too, heavy oxy use. So
Snow White has a pill or a powdery substance connotation.
I was like, I mean, you're making a lot of sense with that. I was at first on the same as your initial, or as like a sex thing, but I was wondering like, okay, is this all code, or does she actually dress up like Snow White? And do I actually have to play a part?
Be dwarf, or Prince.
Well, it says all materials and labor provided by and paid for by Snow White. It also just might be an invitation for a gangbang, not necessarily prostitution, but just looking for 7 people to come over. Yeah,
she's down to party though, no matter what it is what it sounds like.
May also be down to insulate the house, just in case. Just in case that is your skill set. I mean, I'm not saying.
But come on,
when rule it out entirely. This is posted 21 days ago, so it's been up for a while.
If your house wasn't insulated mid-January, if it's not insulated already, that's where this is from. If you showed me this and it was from like August, I would believe that.
You got a fighting chance.
Yeah. She's not in an uninsulated house. However, if she is looking for actual dwarfs, it's gonna be tough. I mean, I'm sure there's 1 or 2, but there's just not a lot of people in that part of Maine, let alone 7. Like
little people,
I would know if there were 7 dwarfs in that area of Maine, because it would be like everybody would talk about it. There was one gay couple, and everybody knew them.
Right.
If there was, so good luck with her. finding 7 of them, but I feel like that is also code.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is too in the weeds for just a classic. I do need some insulation, because we've seen the insulation posts, and usually there's a picture and a poorly drawn, sketch of where the insulation should go.
Yeah.
So,
no, I want no part of this because I would have no idea. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I genuinely have no clue. Like there's not even a wall that I can put my back to say, well, it's probably this, because I was for sure that it was sex. And now I'm like, it's for sure drugs. But then but I don't know what it is. Like, you know what I mean?
Could be paid.
And it ends with a poem too. It was like a little poem at the end.
That's correct. Yeah, and I also don't want to be, I'm going to say no. The term prince is no fun. Honestly, if you didn't mention the prince, I feel like there might be some other draw there, but there's going to be too much attachment between Snow White and a prince. Again, I don't want, I'm also frightened by this whole situation. So I think I'm just scared. So I would say fuck this place.
Okay, so does she already have the 7 dwarves, and then she's looking for an 8th person?
Nope. Nope. She
needs. This is for 8 positions to be filled. Is that what
also?
it is?
Not a fan of the word apparently.
Yeah.
Like, I apparently need this. Like, do you need this?
Like, she was like, well, son of a bitch.
And relocated from where? Like, is this clear to you? I think that's why it's drugs. I think because if you relocated, you've lost your connections, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I feel like if you're looking for sex, you don't need connections to get it, right?
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, okay.
There's ways to post. Like, what I'm saying is, there's sections for this on Craigslist. if it's a much more legal activity, which is consensual sex between strangers, right? Like, there are ways to be more clear about that. I think we're leaning drugs. I'm leaning drugs.
Yeah. Snow White is relocated, meaning my cocaine dealer has left.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I'm liking this.
So
to get my badge out.
And apparently
needs her 7 dwarves, meaning she needs a new connection.
Correct.
And to insulate the tiny house, I don't know, maybe they thought they were getting fancy there with.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You ever call weed something that people don't call weed?
Like, oh, how about some bush? And you're like, no, that's
the fuck
that's
are you
just a
talking
plant.
about?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you're like, you get too caught in your own metaphor, which I can relate to a lot.
Yeah, she really went with the Snow White thing, being like, I'm gonna code it all via Snow White, and then got to some certain spots and was like, how do I say an 8th in Snow White terms? Like,
yeah, for sure. Not a mention of an apple, but I'm gonna go 70% drugs.
So like I'm gonna say this again. I have no fucking clue what's going on in this ad. So also, like, I'm just like, what words do I trust here?
Well, I'm gonna say fuck this place. I feel like we're all kind of in agreement here.
Yeah, I'm not going out there for that.
We're going to leave Snow White where she is, and we're going to look at number 2, which is Local Muscle is hiring drivers and movers. And we do have 2 pictures, it looks like. Picture number 1 is people in a back of a moving van. It's important to note, though, there is a child here.
They're fine with child labor in Maine.
Yeah.
I grew up on a farm and was, from the time I could work, was working for no pay. Everything I did around the farm, me and my brothers, as soon as we all left the house, my parents just bought machines to do all that shit.
Wow.
Like, tractors and manure spreaders and stuff. And
I guess to me, though, farm work seems somewhat appropriate for a child because you can scale it appropriately, right? Like, you can't carry that much dirt. Well, then carry less dirt, right?
Yeah.
But if you've got a child of, let's just say 9 moving, what are you going to move?
I was going to say, just real quick, I would be awfully offended if I was replaced by something called a manure spreader. Like, if I found out that was the machine, I was like, that's what I was doing.
I was spreading manure. That was you'd drive around the field and you'd have to, first you had to take it out of their stalls. At the end of the winter, you'd shovel it all out. These were sheep stalls, shovel it into the back of the truck and then slowly drive the truck around the field, just fucking chucking it out. And when I was 2, because it spreads it out and then it fertilizes the grass that the sheep eat and circle of life. but when I was too little to shovel it and stuff, I would drive. It was when I was like
okay. Yeah.
5 or 6, I would be the one driving,
Uh-huh.
and my brothers would be in the back shoveling.
So then maybe this kid's the driver is what you're saying. This kid's got a
Absolutely.
CDL.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the people beside this child, they look like your average white dudes. One guy's got a little bandana on his head.
There's a good chance I know Bandana Man there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say for certain, but this is in Portland. I saw on the map, and I lived in Portland for 10 years. So there's a good chance I know. The other one seems a little young for me to have known him, but
that's true.
Bandana there.
Yeah, Bandana Man seems to have a couple seasons in him. Not too many, but just a couple, Yeah. He's been working dispatch for a while too. Okay, so
he's the older brother who everything has failed in his life, and so now he's trying to start a company business. Maybe the parents died, and it's just the three of them left.
That's possible.
Trying
to just like make life work, and good luck to him. Then picture number 2 is not a picture. It is, it says Local Muscle. Maybe this is the company logo, but it's in the style.
Oh, for sure. This is also what inspired the company. He saw this and he was drunk one night and he was like, how am I going to get my life back together? And he saw this and was like, I'm going to start a moving company called
I'm going to quit doing Adderall.
This looks like a wanted poster from the Old West they're wanted the least buff man in town. That's what they're looking for.
It looks like one of those like calisthenics posters. Like when they were just like, you can be strong by just holding things far from your body and lifting them slowly.
Fitness is moving.
Yeah, correct. Yes, fitness is moving. It says there's 4 pictures, but I don't. Oh, what do you think? It's just the same pictures.
What do you think's going on with that? This guy.
Did it upload? Upload it again. Did it upload? Yeah, that's the conversation they were having with that ad.
And they said it uploaded, whatever.
Is this guy wearing a belt with sweatpants?
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it looks like it's from the 1920s. Is this man's pants? This is the height of a 1920s man's pants with a decent bulge, right? Yeah. But yeah, that's a belt. I think these are just trousers, my dude. Because look at the crease that goes over the knee here. They're just straight up.
No, I think khakis. they're like those old school like circus pants, like a trapeze guy or something.
Yeah, sure. Okay. They're like wool or something.
Yeah.
And he's got a tucked in shirt. And like, this guy looks like me is what we're saying.
Do you think they thought at that time muscles couldn't get bigger?
Yes. Yeah, I do think that. Yeah.
I
had a friend who was into bodybuilding for a while, and like, I don't know, we would randomly watch movies and be like, "Did you know that like?" I don't remember what movie it was. He was like, people used to think this was ripped, like that was it, and it was like, it was like, what was it? What was his name? The guy from It's a Wonderful Life, like that guy,
Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart. They're like, that was it. They just thought this was like, and I think it was like, I think the Arnold Schwarzeneggers of the world, the like 70s fucking steroid bodybuilding culture was like, no, you can be enormous. All you have to do is break every rule.
Yeah. I think back then they just used to work out until they were immediately tired, and they were like, "Yeah, that's probably the most you can go." That's
because
don't
the vast majority of people were shoveling shit, right? So like workout time was like a little bit extra on top,
Also, people
walk a lot,
I think it was a survival thing that nobody was super cut either. Like nobody was very like low body
you
fat
get down
because
to
they were like
8% body fat, you will freeze or just die.
There could be a famine. Are you ready for you're not ready for a famine?
Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
If you have a 6-pack, I'm sorry, you're gonna die.
Yeah, the Irish potato famine was like into the 1800s, early 1900s. Is that correct? I'm spitballing here, but what I'm saying is fairly recent. There were like major agricultural impacts to large swaths of people.
Yeah, that also wasn't really a famine. That was just England.
Oh yeah, just
starving people to death.
Yeah. Good for them. Well, let's take a look at our post here. It's a bit of a post, so we'll see if we can work our way through. So it says, Local Muscle is currently seeking awesome people, all caps, to join our exceptionally awesome team.
And that's those 3 guys we saw a minute ago.
That's the 3 dudes, correct?
Okay.
Well, no, it's his girlfriend is writing this for him.
Yeah, okay, that's possible.
If he wrote that, I mean, look what he did with the fucking logo. If he wrote it, it would be 2 sentences.
Want to move, but work instead. If you're outgoing, energetic, enjoy making good money while getting a workout, I don't know about that. Consider a flexible, full or part-time position with us. Consider it. We are currently looking for top-notch, qualified candidates for our mover and driver positions. No experience moving? No problem. Yeah, no shit. If you have a good attitude, willingness to be coachable, and punctuality is your middle name, we'll train you. We also value experience in other physically oriented fields. That makes sense. General labor, landscaping, construction, sports, etc., as well as customer service experience. We offer competitive hourly wages in addition to tips and other incentives to move up our ranks. There's so much more to this ad.
Sadly, is a job I would be perfect for.
Sure.
Based on my skills, everything they just said of like would also consider people with these. I was like, I've done all of those.
Yeah. So check.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, so far, aside from their, what's the word? Graphic design, lack of skills, which can't blame a mover for not having graphic design skills. Nothing completely out of left field here. I mean, again, I do think that the ad is too long. Like, as far as like, what are we doing? We're moving shit. But,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know it doesn't
agree.
like just show me the picture. I get it. Moving. That's the thing that's weird I've found about it is if you have no experience in moving, unless you're a child that lives at home with your parents still, everybody has experience moving.
Correct.
Everybody has moved if you've moved out of, and even
a portion of those kids. Yeah. The portion of those kids have moving experience. Yeah.
And it always sucks. It's like, oh, you have a moving experience. I hated every minute of it. Drivers, the ad continues. Drivers work alongside our movers, performing moving duties, and interacting productively with customers. Don't love that language. Additionally, hourly compensation may be offered according to driving capabilities. A CDL, commercial driver's license, is not needed, but a valid driver's license with a safe driving record is required. Drivers must also be 20 plus years of age. That's smart,
Yeah.
Over the 18 to 19.
Yeah. We got a kid. All right.
Yeah. But also that must have a driver's license, that cuts out half of the field that they were talking about in the first half.
Yeah.
Because half of those guys have OUIs or, mounted up tickets and they've had their license suspended.
Yeah. If you're trying to get someone who's trying to put their lives back together, better for back of the truck than for the driver.
Like construction, I don't know if you know this, but there's only one guy on every construction site that has a license. All the rest I've been, they've all been in some sort of criminal thing or child support. They get it taken away. They do that. They take your license away if you don't pay your child support.
I didn't know.
Wow.
Wow. On the job site with Handren Seavey.
Well, I'm having a kid coming up, so I figured I would look into the deals
with
child
the
support.
law.
What's the laws here? What's the worst that can happen? All right. And then it says there's a list. Job responsibilities. Applicants must be able to lift at least 60 pounds over the course of a normal workday. This makes sense. And are often required to move up and down stairs for sustained periods of time. Yeah, for real.
They did go up one from, usually you see 50 pounds.
It's true. They decided to really. Which means they're going to make you lift 90, right? This is 60 pounds. Like, there's no way that any of us can put this on a scale.
They're like, we're looking for muscle. Okay.
Yeah.
Because like
60 pounds.
Because 60 pounds is a lot of, it's a lot of weight, but it's not like the shit you're picking up, man. Anyway, that ain't 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Follow safety guidelines and maintain open communication with team leaders. Demonstrate the highest level of respect for customers, the customer's home and their belongings. Yeah, that's a big one, I'm sure. Arrive reliably and on time to all scheduled shifts. Prepared to carefully, they're really loading this one, handle items both light and heavy. Communicate professionally and courteously with customers and coworkers. Properly use moving equipment and supplies provided by local muscle as needed and requested. I think you're gonna do a lot more requesting than they're going to be providing, but that's fine. Complete daily truck inspections and equipment inventory. Okay, these people seem like they cross their T's and dot their I's. Share responsibility with the moving crew in accurately completing paperwork and payment calculation. Participate in a drug-free workplace. Again,
you're losing a lot of people there.
Well, participate in the workplace that's drug-free doesn't mean your life.
That's true. They didn't say we will drug test. They were like, just don't be high at work, please.
Yeah, just not here, please.
Yeah, correct. And that's a fine boundary.
But still, like half the candidates in Maine are either like, you lost me there.
Yeah, sorry, pal. Going back to Snow White. Improve and develop moving skills and techniques. Oh. improve and develop moving skills and techniques through observation and experience.
Trying to innovate the game of moving.
Absolutely. We're getting better together. The ideal candidate will have strong customer service skills, strong verbal written communication skills, professional and adaptive attitude, teamwork skills, and a sense of shared responsibility, motivation to keep moving and stay productive, appreciation for day-to-day variety on the job. Yeah. And then to be considered for employment at local muscle, please attach your most recent resume. I think, again, losing people, along with 2 professional references, also losing people, former employers, coworkers, etc. Job types, full-time,
but you notice,
part-time. Go ahead.
Former employers, coworkers, etc. Basically, they're saying you can just give us your 2 brothers' names. Like they didn't say don't be family.
Right. That's true. It didn't say no family. You're right.
Yeah. All of this sounds like there was some sort of lawsuit that happened with whoever had this position before.
It does seem like this.
And they were like, we need to be very specific about what we are looking for, because last time you just put up looking for a mover and then Tim killed a guy. So they're like really looking for like, this time we're going to get it right. This hire is going to be better.
Yeah. Tim shows up and was like, whoa, I'm not listening to anything over 59 pounds. And then just shot a man in the back of the head.
Just dropped it on somebody.
And then the pay says $13 to $16.50 per hour. Okay. Plus tips, plus heavy item fees, plus daily overtime when working more than 8 hours a day, which has got to happen a lot.
Oh yeah.
The question is, do we can double back on this, but like, how often do they acknowledge it versus how much does it happen? Anyway. And then honestly, major prompts here. It says COVID-19 considerations. Moving can involve close quarters, teamwork at times, and mask, glove, and sanitizer regimes have been adopted for all moving work as well as administrative staff. All employees have access to the equipment, are expected to use it appropriately. I mean,
again, all employees is just those 3 guys, right?
Correct. Yeah. And the 2 guys and the child.
Yeah. They're like looking at the kid for this building.
Yeah. This is all run off of a cell phone and a truck. That's all they have.
Yeah. Well, I do like the idea that they've made that kid, like that kid's probably doing like remote learning, and instead he's multitasking and doing like dispatch for the company.
Yeah.
They
like,
make
what
it
do you
seem
know
like
about accounting.
They make it seem like when you show up that you're going to have to answer to the kid, like he's on the hierarchy,
Yeah. Although again, massive, like I would say, Nick and I are on Craigslist every fucking week, every week. And we look at 2 jobs every week. And I would say it's been weeks, maybe months, since we've actually seen COVID specific language in a job that was obviously going to be in close quarters with other humans.
I would add, this is maybe the first time we've ever seen a COVID-19 section of the post.
Correct.
Normally it's like 3 sentences tacked on.
Like COVID point. Got you down.
Sometimes in parenthesis, just like, oh yeah, stand back from, just saying it so they're not in trouble or whatever. This is the first section we've.
Yeah, it's clear that they care, or at least want to pretend like they care. Because again, there's like back to this 8 hours in a day overtime thing. There's a big difference between saying we will give you overtime when it's over 8 hours and actually doing it, right?
Yeah.
That's the difference. Only an extra half hour, no big deal. It's like, well, it's an extra half hour. That's time and a half, right?
Yeah.
Of 30 minutes.
Yeah, we'll pay you half the time.
Early too. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pay you half the time.
No, this is also shows the difference between what Portland, Maine is like compared to the rest of Maine.
Yeah, it's a very
Portland and southern Maine, but where like if this was 3 hours north, they would say it would start off with, you think COVID's fake too, right? Good. We're looking for movers.
We're looking for movers to cough on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That is a culturally a very Portland, Maine thing. I can't outright say fuck this place. I don't want to necessarily do it, like I don't want to be a mover, but at the same time, like it seems like they're very clear about what moving is. They've even if they are running everything by a phone, like they've lifted their fair share of heavy shit before.
Yeah.
And they say that there's heavy item fees. Again, I like to think that exists, right? The fact that they even mentioned that, like,
I like that of just like, we pick it up for $20. No, $30. All right.
Yeah, it is bargaining on the spot.
On the spot, yeah.
Yeah, just box for box.
Yeah. What if? Well,
Yeah,
I don't have any cash. How about
you pay to get us in the door, and then we negotiate every single thing in the room, and that is your final moving cost.
I mean, honestly, like probably a really fair way to do it, because just because someone
I've
has
heard
a
of
1 square footage house versus another square footage, I'm sure there's a difference in volume.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard of people too getting. Like in New York, not like pretty much shook down for their stuff. The movers take it all, put it in the truck, and then they go, when you go to meet them at your new place, they're like, if you want us to show up, you'll pay us, twice as much or whatever.
Yeah. Just another reason hustle. I love that city. Yeah. I think I'm not in this at all, just because I don't want to have that kid be my boss. Like I said earlier, I feel like that's gonna. I'm not interested in everybody thinking it's funny and cute and me just fucking hating it the whole time.
Yeah, and him getting mad about you not turning your timesheet in like on time.
I'm like stepping on his toys and shit. No, I'm out.
He's like, Nick, time is in 0.25. 0.1. What is it? We're doing quarter hours, so it's 0.25. Anyway, sorry, it was too accounting joke. Handren, you were saying.
I would, here's the thing about this is as professional as this ad looks, your paycheck will be late every single week from this.
Sure.
You will have to demand it. Like you'll have to demand, no OSHA regulations will be followed. You will be packed in the front of the truck with all 3 of those people.
Windows up because it's Maine and it's freezing fucking cold.
Yep. No lunch breaks. Like that's, can't do that. We'll just get a sandwich of tomatoes and
I would bet you it's pretty fucking busy.
That's what they'll tell you. Possibly, yeah.
Just because of all the people
moving to Maine.
That's what I'm saying. Like offloading from like Boston and like New York and shit. They're just like, well, I'll go to Maine. I'll live in Maine for a few years, or whatever. Especially Portland, Maine, right? Like, so.
Portland's crazy right now. It's like, I mean, I don't know how it is right now, but the amount of condos and new shit getting built there, and it's crazy.
Absolutely. So I think you're right, Handren, that yes, there's always going to be, almost always going to be a difference between what they say and what actually fucking happens, right? But I will say the fact that they paid a lot of lip service, where other people would not even bother doing that. So again, I don't want to do it, but I can't fully say like, fuck these people. I think it would be worth an interview to suss the situation out.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But also this is an alcoholic's last hope at keeping his child. This business that he started, he lost his house, but he still owns the moving truck that he inherited from his dead father.
And the alcoholic is that kid.
Yeah. Oh, he's the one with the child. Yeah.
This is a hit movie in the 90s and a sad life now.
Yeah, that kid's actually one of those. What's his name?
Benjamin Buttons.
No, like Webster.
Like a child genius.
No, he's just 34. But he looks like a child. He's their father. He is the father of those two. Those two boys.
Yeah, he's like he's frequenting strip clubs and stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's where all the money's going. All right, great. Well, not fuck that place and hope that kid, turns his life around. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Wanted to remind you that you can text the podcast anytime you want.
Night or day, whenever the hell you want.
It's fine. It's the number is 470-BAD-JOBS. The actual numbers are 470-223-5627. That's the number.
So yeah, anytime you want. Like I said, middle of the night, whenever. We don't got jobs right now. Whatever's going on with you is going on with us.
I mean, absolutely. Maybe you still have a job and it's like shitty. You can tell us about that. Maybe you don't have a job and it was shitty before.
Maybe you're getting one of those weird temperature forehead checks right now.
For sure.
You want to pull out your phone and just say, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm going to text 470-BAD-JOBS.
470-223-5627 is the number. That is the number. And you can also call us if you want, but I mean, whatever. It's your choice. That's the point here.
Handren, what's the first job you ever had?
All right. I think the first thing I ever did that I actually got paid money for was mowing lawns, but it was just one lawn and it was like $25 a week when I was like 11.
Hey, that's not a bad gig for an 11-year-old.
No, yeah. And it was the like, this is, under the table, don't need what are those things called when you're a kid? You need the
like the permit, the work permit. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because you couldn't get that until I think 12 or 13 in Maine to even do like, to work like, I think when I first got my work permit, you could only work maybe 10 hours a week during the school year and maybe 20 or 30 in the summertime.
Okay.
So you did
that was that. Yeah. So I mowed lawns right up until I then started working at a local convenience store in Harrison called the Village Tie-Up.
And how old were you at the convenience store? Did you have
13.
your permit? 13.
Yeah. That was the first job.
Yeah. Yeah. If I recall, and I'm pretty sure that in North Carolina, the work permits didn't start until I want to say 14 or 15. So like 12, 13, that seems like, a state that believes in freedom's number for when kids
for sure.
can start
And
work.
like I said, just rural areas. I mean, come on, we need labor. Like we're not gonna, we can't wait till they're fucking 14 or 15.
Right.
Yeah.
What were your responsibilities at this convenience store?
Making pizzas.
Okay.
Italians.
Yeah.
That's I get in Maine and New England for some reason. It's not like this a lot of other places, but like most convenience store gas stations also make pizza and what we call Italians there, which is like a sub sandwich. They call them Italians in New England. You can just get pretty much every rural place has it's a convenience store, but also they serve pizza and shit like that. And
well, also because maybe there's not so many other places to have pizza, right? Like it's possible that the convenience store is one of 4 or 5 businesses, right? So it's like we might as well multitask.
You can't probably there's not enough not enough people in the area to just survive off being a pizza place too.
Correct.
Like even if you just had its own pizza place. I mean, I grew up in a town of 1,000 people, or it was maybe 1,500 when I lived there. And it's like, unless everybody's going out for pizza multiple times a week, like a pizza place that's pizza there isn't going to fucking do well.
Yeah, it's a very, very good point. Like I do want to have pizza in this town. Like I need pizza in this town, but I can't.
That's why we opened this pizza. That's why we opened this pizza, Mexican, Chinese place that we're working at.
No, I think pizza is about as ethnic as it gets up in Maine.
Well, and an Italian, which is just a sub like with turkey on it. But yeah. So your job was
in oil.
Yeah.
Right. That's why we call it an Italian. It was real greasy.
It's like, they love these in Italy. It's all they eat. That's why we call them Italians.
I love these meatball subs. So your job, you were like kind of the like was there a pizza or like give us the layout here? Is there like an area that you're working in, like you have a kitchen?
Yeah, so there's a behind the counter area. Like there's the cash registers. Okay, you walk in the door, and right to your right are 2 cash registers and a little counter there, and that's where people were ringing out. Never got to ring shit out. So the guy that owned this place, kind of a dick. It was me and like 3 other guys, and this was that he hired who were 13 and 14, I think.
Sure.
And it was the first time he'd ever hired kids to work there.
Okay. Took a chance.
Everybody else was like, full adults and parents and shit. And so he started hiring kids for the summer because it was also right on the lake. So it had gas up front, and then it had boat gas station on the lake. Got it. That was actually cool. I did a lot of that during the summertime. I would be the person out there gassing up boats. Yeah, that was great.
Boat gas.
You get tipped. You're just hanging out on the lake all day.
Absolutely.
People, coming up.
I assume in the summer it's pretty busy. Like, I mean, because
very busy.
A lot of New England.
Like you're having to like hold off. Like you're next. You can come in. You go out. Like traffic control.
Yeah.
But the guy was a dick. He ended up firing me because I got another job. Like 2 years later, I stayed there until I was, I think, 15. And I, in the summertime, I wanted to work full time because I wanted to make some money. Yeah. And he would only give me I think like 25 hours a week. And so I got another job as a dishwasher.
An additional job. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to do both, and he was like, "I'm not going to work around somebody else's schedule." And I was like, "Well, you wouldn't give like, what do you want me to do? You fucking wouldn't give me more hours." And he just fired me on the spot, and I walked out, and I was like, "Great, the dishwashing place would love to have me full time."
Right.
I was, it was fucking,
especially for the summer.
It was way more money.
Yeah.
But
I always think that's such an. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying the layout of the store is you walk in, cash registers to the side. All the aisles and stuff. It's a pretty small.
So we're talking almost like what 7-Eleven has modeled themselves on is what this convenience store, you know what I mean? Like there's behind the counters where there's cooking things, right? And there's a few aisles.
It kept going like picture where the rotisseries would be at a 7-Eleven. We had a big deli, like had all the meats and stuff you could get, a pound of turkey, a pound of this. And then there was pizza ovens in that back area and all the like low boys for making sandwiches and stuff.
Well, if you're the gas thing, if the boat gas is busy, was the pizza and sub thing also super busy in the summer? Were you just like fucking slinging subs? Yeah.
Yeah, because you're taking phone orders constantly, plus people walking in. And it was, you can only get, I think we could fit 4 pizzas in the oven at a time. So you're just making at a certain point, like there's 4th of July and Harrison Old Home Days, which was like the big fair that would come through. Those weekends would be crazy. And you're just making up cheese pizzas like hours ahead of time and just stacking them in the fridge, not cooked yet, but ready to go. And you can just add whatever to them. Just to fucking stay on top of it.
Damn.
And you're doing this at 13.
I was just going to say, like, organizing pizzas. Yeah.
How many are you on a shift and how many of those are kids?
I would say there's only be like a busy day. There'd be maybe 6 people there and it would be 2 kids and 4 adults.
Okay.
But a regular day, I would say.
Not full on Little Rascals.
Like, no.
That would be like a mine in the 1800s. All kids.
Or some place that really makes nice clothing. I was a little like that. I did forget. I don't remember if I got paid for this or I did just volunteer. When I was 12, I taught swimming lessons. And that was a bit like that because it was all like kids you took all the levels of the swimming lessons thing. And then once you got past the top level, you could go for your lifeguard. And then once you got your lifeguard, you could get certified to teach. And I was a fucking kick-ass swimmer. And I did all that by like the time I was 10. And when I was 12, I taught lessons. And that was all just like kids that had just passed it. It was like a camp counselor type of thing where they, they just all become counselors once they get old enough.
I mean, and also like, like a good 10-year-old can teach a 5-year-old to swim, right? Like,
totally.
Swimming, like fucking move your arms. Like,
as long as they'll figure it out.
They will or they won't, right? They will or they won't.
Do you want your kid to be a swimmer?
You're fucking multitasking like crazy. You're lifeguarding / boat gassing / pizza prepping / sub ordering.
And then in that winter, so that was that first summer when I was 13, and then that winter I got my first job teaching skiing lessons at the local mountain, so I could get so I could ski for free.
Hell yeah, dude! That is the way to do it.
Yeah. But what sucks is when you first start and you're that young, I would only have like 2- and 3-year-old kids.
Which like, let's talk about 2- and 3-year-old kids learning to ski. Can they?
It's not for them. It's so their parents can go fucking ski. Like,
it's babysitting. Sure, it's babysitting. Yeah.
You really just take. I mean, half of them. There'd be occasionally a little 3-year-old who could ski and stuff. But mostly you're just like taking these kids and bringing them out in the cold and pushing them around for a while. They have no fucking idea what's going on.
Yeah, they're 2 and 3 years old.
They don't know why they're there.
They're ridiculously sized skis.
Their skis are like this long.
Which proportionate to a 3-year-old is massive. To have a ski as tall, like taller than you are, which I guess is what people have.
And it's all just got to be like on flat. Like, it's not like a double black diamond that you're sending down these guys.
No, that's what I'm saying. We wouldn't even go up the mountain. You would be at
on the snow.
Like just walk out the doors into where the snow starts, and we'd have like a little fenced off area there, and that's where you'd like pull them around to the pole so they could get used to like sliding on
the
it.
sensation. Right. I mean, that makes sense. Like kinesthetically, they get used to like just being able to like kind of lean back into their butt and just sort of like, here I am.
Yeah, but you could just never do it until you're 5 and then actually be able to ski. Like that's the thing is most of it at like 2 or 3, you just don't really even have the muscle to do a lot of what skiing requires.
And you're certainly not going to learn it in an hour. Or
yeah.
No, you're not going to learn it. Boy, did the parents like, did anyone come back and be like, he's not skiing, or they're not, like, or were they just
they were like, whew, got that hour away.
Absolutely.
Like that. Nobody gave a shit about their kids' actual ability.
I paid later on to watch my child.
Yeah, later on, I coached skiing for a private school, and that parents, every parent wanted their kid to be an Olympian. And you were coaching kids at the like junior Olympic level,
right?
But the worst were the parents that were like, my kid should be, and you're like, your kid's not that good. I don't know what to fucking tell you. It's just like
you've seen him in the races.
This guy
he's
just
not first.
Yeah. Well, this is freestyle too, so it was like
like tricks and
like
shit. Yeah,
it's like
this kid can't do a backflip.
I don't know what.
Like just ask him to do it.
I did. He didn't do it.
So I don't know if you noticed. That's what they do. That's like one of the main things they do. It's one of the coolest things that they do at these fucking competitions. So that's wild. Damn, what a world, Maine.
I will say too that that winter of 13 teaching skiing lessons, everybody else there, I was the youngest one. Everybody else was in their late teens or early 20s. And so I was just hanging out with them. That's where I fucking smoked weed for the first time. Maybe drank for the first time. Like they corrupted me in the best way, but like they definitely kind of like not took me under their wing, but just treated me like I was also 18. And nobody fucking knew I was 13.
Well, I mean, if we're being fair, you also probably showed up with the most job experience. You'd worked like 16 different gigs. They're just like, our boss is really short, but he's cool. He smokes weed.
I think he's retiring. I don't know.
Yeah. This is it. He's retired. This is his last part-time thing he's gonna do.
He's just doing this for fun, Yeah. He's got his own little cabin. Grandkids are coming up next weekend.
Okay, so that was your first set of jobs, we'll say. What would you say is the worst job you've ever had?
The one I hated the most because I worked landscaping for like 6 years. Now it's most everything I've done until I got out to California too was seasonal because you either have like a full-time job inside in Maine or you work seasonal.
Sure.
Yeah, it's full-time job inside or whatever else.
You found something in a building or it's the elements for you.
But the one I hate, landscaping was probably the most physically demanding job that I had, but I really liked it. I did not mind it at all. We were on gorgeous like estates on the ocean in Maine.
The people who can pay for a landscaping team, like they got a pretty decent property.
And we weren't even mowing lawns or anything. We were just like doing flower beds,
like
and
designing. Someone designed shit and you're installing it.
And we're installing and maintaining. So so that was cool, but it was very physically demanding. But the one I hated the most was I was a waiter for Holiday Inn by the Bay in Portland, Maine.
Holiday Inn by the Bay.
It sucked all around, and what made it the worst was the lady who ran it. The boss was just a fucking cunt, and nobody liked her.
One of them.
Just horrible piece of shit. And like I was the only new person there too, so they would just like do dick shit of like.
Was everyone else like a lifer?
Probably on their way to be.
Right.
I was new, but there was like 3 other waiters. There was the head waitress lady who she fucking sucked, and then there was like 3 other people who had been there maybe multiple years or something.
Okay. Well, what is the aesthetic at a place like that? Okay, Holiday Inn by the Bay.
That's my question.
Do they think they're cool, or are they like, no, we know we fucked up and we're here?
Well, the lady, the other waiters, one was waitress. She was a Russian immigrant. So she was like, I know what I have to do. You know,
I'm
she
fucking here to grind.
She's like, I just got out of giving hand jobs and I'm a waitress now. The other was this guy who I don't know if he was sober, but he definitely had that. Like, he was a little bit older than me. So I was 22, maybe. Around this time, 21 or 22, and he was maybe 26, but like clearly something had failed in his life.
He was like, listen, I'm just trying to be
yeah. And it was weird, as him and the Russian would always flirt, but then she had like a boyfriend who would come and pick her up, and then but like they would flirt, like I would see him like holding hands,
like heavy,
it was like heavy petting, but I think she was just using him. You know, Russian ladies, they know how to use men. And then, but the lady who ran it, who fucking sucked, she treated it like you were working at the fucking Ritz-Carlton.
She believed in it.
That's kind of what I was wondering, if you had something like that going on. Right.
Because it is just a Holiday Inn, but it's a big Holiday Inn in downtown Portland that gets a lot of business, and they try and fake like they're but it's like, hey, the hotels here are $35. Like, we're not.
Well, yeah, so I was kind of wondering, is like, you know, because sometimes, especially like a pseudo brand like Holiday Inn, which I guess they're a brand, they're a recognizable brand, especially in a small town environment, can kind of big dick people, you know, of like, we're the Holiday Inn, you know, and it's like,
they're building one of those out here,
but like, but like, you know, in any other town, it's like, it's a Holiday Inn, you know.
Well, even in that town in Portland, because Portland has like, it was like restaurant city of the year 2 years ago, and like Bon Appetit magazine, like it has some really high end shit and some very niche boutique hotels that are
because
very
of
high end.
The volume of city people that come to eat there
from other places. But Holiday Inn by the Bay is made for people in the county, in a rustic county, to come to Portland and feel like they're living the big city life, staying at some nice place. They have a pool there, so it's like, we fucking went to a hotel with a pool.
Absolutely.
But they don't talk. They'd be like, oh my God, Martha, we went down to this hotel down Holiday Inn by the Bay. You ever stayed there? They have a pool.
Like the people from Boston are staying in some little
the nice places.
Or whatever.
They have class and style. No, this is for the white trash that I grew up around a lot of.
So I mean, it was busy then. I mean, obviously, like.
It was I worked brunch. That was another thing that sucked, is I had to be there at 5 a.m.
Fuck, for brunch?
Damn it.
Yeah, it was brunch. Breakfast starts. I mean, Maine too. They're not like
it's a hotel, so it's super. It does start earlier. You know,
I think it opened at 6. Like the restaurant opened at 6. But it was a lot of it was just buffet, and so then you're just not even getting fucking tipped usually when people get the buffet.
Correct, because all you're doing is refilling orange juice and coffee,
hanging out by the heat lamps.
You want some ham? You should get some.
But then they would take the buffet away at like maybe 10 o'clock, and then trying to deal with people coming at 11 and being like, the buffet is gone, you have to order off here. And they're like, what do you mean it's gone? They said it was a buffet. And you had to stamp in on a time card. And they said if it read that you were late on the time card 3 times, then you would get fired. And it was gonna be my 3rd time going in, and so I just didn't go.
You
already told me what's gonna happen. You want me to come in and work this shift?
Work a whole shift just knowing that I won't ever get to come back here again. Well, how long was your tenure there?
Maybe a month.
3 shifts.
Maybe a month. I maybe made it a month. It was in between something. So I worked at this place called Stone Soup. There was a big marketplace in Portland called the Portland Public Market, and then they ended up closing down that market because it was like owned by a separate company that leased all the little it's kind of like the farmers market in LA here. And that company that owned the big building closed it down. And so all those companies that were, it was a bunch of, it was restaurants, knickknacks, fucking, wine shops.
Just the shops.
Just shit that people out of town want to look at and do.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of lighthouses, a lot of,
another lighthouse.
Some of those places went, but the place I was at, Stone Soup, just closed down. They didn't find another place to open. And so I went there, but I knew I was going to have a job from one of the other places that was in there called Down Home Cooking. They said, we're opening up a new place and it won't be open until the spring.
Got it. So you're like, I need someone to hold me over.
Right. Yeah. And I went there for a month and I was like, fuck that. Like I thought for some reason I thought I could do 5 a.m. and I was just like,
dude, 5 a.m. is so fucking brutal. Like, it's such a tough, like,
that means you have to get up before 5.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens is I also signed up for a quote unquote waiting job that was a holiday, or not a holiday, but a hotel buffet. And I also had to be there like 5, I think it was 5:30 or something. But yeah, you think like 5:30, no big deal. Like it's tough, but it's 5:30. Like no. You know, like
actually 4.
Yeah, if you want like even if you have 0 commute, you still need like an hour between your wake up time and whenever you start work.
Yeah,
just in order to be, you know.
You need like to add like budget 15 minutes of just sitting in bed going, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
Yes,
dude, that place Stone Soup that I worked at, I lived across the street from the Portland Public Market on Preble Street at the Wadsworth building, and I was constantly late. I lived across the street. Constantly late.
I think when you get too close to it, that's when you get like when you have
splitting hairs.
Such little barrier that if you have I think, you know, even if it's 15 minutes of a commute, you're like, I got to do the math right on this. But if it's if it's a 5-minute walk, you're like, that's no time. It's like, no, it's 5 minutes.
I could do it in 3. Yeah, that's what you say. It's usually 5. I can do it in 3.
It's funny to think too, though, that like you live across the street and your boss is like looking at your house to see if the light comes on. To see if you're gonna wake up on time.
Yeah.
No,
and there are definitely times. I always find that funny too when like the customers don't know that you're like, I was in bed 10 minutes ago. What can I get you? I didn't shower. I literally just got out of my bed and walked down here. I'll wash my hands.
It could be bleeding into a dream right now. I don't know what's going on.
But I certainly hope you know what you want to order.
I went in there after tripping all night, and it was, I would say, a half hour before fucking stuff stopped moving that I was looking at, because I was in my apartment. We took what we thought was a responsible amount of acid, and it ended up being way stronger.
It's tough to toe that line.
Well, I'd been doing a bunch of it. So I thought, like, you know, taking one tab, I was like, I've done that a ton of times. But I have a joke about this in my act where I say, I think the guy, instead of putting the droplet onto the piece of paper, he just dunked it in the liquid and just let it all absorb up, because it was like one tab, but it was like I had taken 10 tabs and was just out of my mind all night. Fucking by the time, like by 4 a.m, like, I could not see. Everything was blurry and just blurring together, and there was no reality. And finally, around like, I had to be in at say 9, around like 8 o'clock, 8:30, stuff kind of just
coalesced,
came back into place. And stopped moving around, but still, I was still tripping in my head. And I had to go in and work, and I just like, I couldn't, so many words in my head, but I couldn't say anything. I was like, and I just had the craziest, like, no sleep whatsoever all night. And just had to go in and just like grin and bear it. And was just me and the boss there for like the first half hour or two. And when it's just 2 other people, you're like, it's weird that you're not talking. Why don't you say something?
They're like, we're looking at the menu. Man. So like that place closed, your acid place closed. Then you're like, fuck, you know. So how did you approach the holiday? What was the sell on the Holiday Inn versus something else? Like, how did you choose Holiday Inn?
I think it was, I'd had a lot of experience working in the back of a kitchen, but I wanted to wait tables because I heard the money was better. And I hadn't waited any tables, and it was the only place in Portland where I could get a job waiting tables.
Sure.
Thinking the money was good, but the money is not good at a Holiday Inn whatsoever. Especially for breakfast.
Especially
Tips
for a buffet, dude.
If you're not selling alcohol, which they didn't sell alcohol. You're not making money on anything. It's it's like a $12 breakfast. So that's why I got into it. But immediately I was like,
Oh,
this isn't the fucking waiting tables I was
nice
talking
steak
about.
Restaurant is where they need to be serving. So so you thought you make more money up front, and you were like, "Oh, I made the wrong choice."
And I wanted to
so
get
many
into
categories.
I wanted to get into that side of. I wanted to bartend or wait tables to make more money, and ultimately, I think looking at it now, being a comedian, like there is a performance aspect to it of
sure.
fucking dealing with people and stuff. But yeah, it took a month, and I was just like, I gotta find something else. Fuck that place.
Yeah.
And then I snuck back in to get my last check. Because I knew where they kept the key to get in the restaurant, and I went after hours. And I just, like, fucking snuck in.
Yeah, you didn't want to
to
face anybody.
Grab my check.
Yeah,
No,
the checks got printed.
See you again.
And you knew where they were. Wow,
it's funny.
Your own money heist. Like it's your rightful money.
Yeah.
And then like the next day, your boss was like, "Did he ever work here? Did I make that up? There's not even proof he was here."
Maybe I was on acid this whole time.
Yeah, I remember that fucking shitty boss. She would like tell me like the white of my shirt wasn't right. She's like, "We need like this white, and yours is kind of like a cream white." I'm like, "It's a fucking Holiday Inn. What are we talking about?"
Yeah. She was like, "No, it's the Holiday Inn."
Yeah, by the bay. That was the thing. It was a Holiday Inn by the bay.
Hello, have you seen this bay? Absolutely. I've seen the bay.
Let me take you to the window here.
You see this bay?
Tell me what you see out there.
Your shirt?
Yeah.
Very white.
The restaurant didn't even face the water. The restaurant faced the city too.
Yeah. Was there anything good at that buffet? Like was the food?
It was just regular like
Holiday
eggs,
Inn food.
bacon.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, regular Holiday Inn food. Nothing fucking fancy.
So a little uppity for,
She just
what
sucked.
it is.
She would do these things like it was clear she went to one manager's training course and just like, so she would do the give you a compliment and then tell you what you did wrong. And so and the idea is to like even it out, but all it does is go
sandwich. Yeah.
Whenever you give me a compliment, I am bracing for something.
Exactly. I hate that so much.
She learned the most rudimentary of tools and only did that.
Here's how you will always feel bad about whatever you do, because even good things, you'll know there's something bad coming.
Yeah, and it's like that good thing is not coming from a genuine place because she only started thinking about it because she had to tell you something bad.
Yeah. Like they're like she didn't like the way that you wrapped the silverware up, right? So that's so like you can tell she walked around for like, I don't know, 20 minutes just thinking like, fuck that fucking silverware. And then you're like, okay, now I gotta okay, there it goes. Hey, Handren, your shoes are cleaned this morning.
Yep.
Well, what I need you to do though is wrap the silverware different. Like, great, thank you. Related.
And I was also, it was probably a lot of Adderall that got me through that, doing that fucking 5 a.m. shit.
Yeah, 5 a.m. Not an easy time. Well, Handren, we always have a couple questions to like wrap up the podcast just to make sure we covered everything. For question number 1, we pretty much have answered. That's for the worst job. When were you done and how'd you quit? You quit because
There's going to be late. Strike 3. I just didn't even step up to the plate.
And you were done from, I mean, was there ever a moment where you thought I could like, day one, the first hour where you're like, this might work? Or was it like pretty much immediately like, this is for sure not going to be a long-term thing for me?
Yeah. I mean, that first 5 a.m., I was like,
yeah.
Like 5 days a week? No,
there's got to be a better way to do this. There has to be a better way.
That first one, you were like, this might be one of my last ones. I'll tell you right now.
Okay. And then question number 2 is, what's one good thing you would say you took from that very bad job?
I don't know. Just one, working with somebody like that woman, it made me realize, one, how desperate of her life was. And so as seeing at 21, 22 years old, seeing somebody like that, and instead of being like, you have any power over me, just being like, oh, this person's barely hanging on. Like, don't, just because they're older than me or they have this job or whatever, like doesn't fucking mean anything. Like I can see like they're as broken as anybody else.
Everybody here is a person,
Yeah.
is the takeaway. Yeah. And everyone's dreams can get crushed, each and every one of us. So good luck.
And most will. That's the sad thing. Most people's dreams will get crushed.
Yeah,
Only a select
I agree.
few.
Yes. Yeah. They'll get crushed and you got to make something out of that fine powder,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You know, turn it into a paste, make a little paper mache or something.
Turn it into a podcast.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. And then question number 3, not that related to that terrible job. You know, there's been a pandemic where things are not going well or they're going better. It's hard to say. A lot of things have been sidelined, comedy being one of them. How's that going for you? It's an open. Any thoughts?
I've been doing a lot of outdoor stuff.
Yep.
A lot of outdoor shows, and it's actually going not bad as far as like I've been able to tape a lot and put out a lot of clips and new material.
That's true.
And I've been more prolific in writing in this time than any time. I'll be 10 years into comedy this summer, and I would say like in as far as how my brain is firing and stuff with material right now is better than ever. But in that sense, just real growth on stage, I would say, in this time that I've been very happy with.
Oh,
that's
nice.
great news.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So, that's
really
good. Yeah.
Well, Handren, where can people find you on the internet? Your album is out now. You've got a podcast.
Yeah, the album is free. You can get it on any of your podcasts. I just put it out as its own podcast. It's called HS1. But if you just search my name, it's also on YouTube for free. Yeah, Handren.
And we'll put a link to that in the show notes, by the way.
Yeah. And everything else is just Handren Seavey. That where I've got all the clips and stuff is like on Instagram and TikTok, and I think I put them on Twitter too. But it's probably about a half hour of new material that's not on the album. That's all in 1 or 2 minute video clips and stuff. You can go watch on. On those.
Yeah, we'll have links to that, all that, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff will be in the show notes. So if you're watching on YouTube, it's just down in the description. And if you're on an app, you just like swipe up and it should be right there, all the links ready to go. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Handren.
Thanks for having me.
It's been great, man.
This
it was a treat. And you know, fuck this place.
Yeah, fuck it.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed today's episode, leave a review or share with a friend. Take the podcast, put it on a USB drive, get a dongle that's USB to USB-C so that they can use it on their Mac or whatever, and then mail it to them. You know, pick your favorite one. I don't care. It'll be fun. Try it. Okay, that's it. Bye for now. Fuck this.